Could I have had a more perfect day to film this episode? It is rainy, it is overcast, it is gray. It is just very Octoberish outside today. It is the perfect day to delve into the subject of vest or slipovers, whatever you want to call them. I love doing these roundup videos for you all. I love researching patterns on Ravelry and finding some ones that I think are really great and putting them all together in a bundle for you. The problem is, every time I do a roundup video like this, I add more items to my I want to knit list. We're all alike. None of us have the time to actually knit everything we want to knit. But I'm gonna keep on doing these roundup videos because I just find them so very inspiring and motivated, and I hope you guys do as well. Hey everyone, welcome back. My name is Amber. This is a lovely yarn podcast, and today's episode is a roundup of 10 gorgeous hand knit vests that I absolutely love. I feel like I have a really good variety of different styles of vests. Some are very simple, some are made to use up your scrap yarn, and others are a little more time consuming and definitely gonna take a little bit more focus on your part. So I hope that you guys can find something that you like here in this roundup of 10 patterns. So grab a cozy drink, grab your knitting, and let's settle in and take a look at this list of 10 beautiful vests to knit this fall. As with every pattern roundup video that I do, a link to the Ravelry bundle will be down below. You can click through to that link and it will take you straight to Ravelry, where you will find the bundle of all of the patterns that I'm going to talk about today. I don't have these in any certain order. I'm just going to kind of go through them briefly and provide some basic information about each of these vests. And you can click through and check them out in more detail and check out other people's project pages for each of these vests on Ravelry if you are interested. Okay, real quick before I get into the patterns, I do want to address what I am wearing. So this is my only hand knit vest. I have multiple vests that I do wear, but this is the only one I've made for myself. And this actually, I cannot recommend a pattern to you because this was not made from a pattern for a vest. This was actually supposed to be a sweater with sleeves. But I can't even recommend this pattern to you because I found it very confusing. So what I ended up doing is taking off the first sleeve that I was trying to basically fudge my way through. I ripped the sleeve back and decided just to make it a vest. That came as a recommendation from several of my viewers. I think I knit this sweater maybe last fall. I don't even remember now, but yeah, so now I just have this vest that wasn't even meant to be a vest, but it does work perfectly as a second layer. Let's get started with number one. This is the Lonely Leftovers vest. It is a pattern by Wool and Beyond, and it's just a tad bit under $10 US dollars for this pattern. It is knit in an Aran weight yarn, 14 stitches to 4-inch gauge, using US 10 or 6 millimeter needles. This pattern comes in 8 sizes from 34-inch to 57.5-inch bust. And let's just take a look at the construction of this vest. So it is a garter stitch vest. It has a rounded hem on the bottom. The back yoke is shaped first. I'm going to put some pictures up here so you can see what I'm talking about. But this back yoke is actually done first, and it's done separately. And then stitches are picked up along the edge, and the rest of the back is finished. And you're also making the armholes at that exact time as well. Then you pick up stitches at the top of the back yoke, and you work forward on the front shoulders, and then shape the neck and the armholes. And it's then joined, and the rest of the body is worked flat back and forth. There's also I-cord edging that is done along the outer borders, and then you finish off with that really cute I-cord tie. I think this would be a perfect project to use up your scraps. I think that maybe is why it's called the Lonely Leftovers vest. Maybe it's intended to be a scrappy project, although the designer doesn't say that in the pattern details. I also think this would be really awesome using handspun yarn as well as marled yarn. So holding 2 different types of yarn together and marling them. I absolutely love, I think this is the most adorable little vest. I really want to make this vest. I think it would look so cute over larger, flouncier, peasant styled blouses and such, the ones with the big arms. And then I think this would also look really cute with dresses. I've seen a lot of vests that are sewn that look very similar in style. So it was really exciting to see this vest as a knitted option because I really don't sew. So I would love to be able to knit a vest that's going to give me the same shape and the same kind of vibe. Okay, I've had this next pattern saved to my favorites since at least last fall. And this is the Beneath Waves vest by Johanna Kunin. And it is a $10 pattern knit in DK weight yarn with a gauge of 20 stitches for 4 inches. You knit this vest using a US 5 and 6 or a 3.75 and 4 millimeter needle. It comes in 9 different sizes ranging from 34.5 inches to 66.25 inches. This pattern is knit from the bottom up. It's knit in the round until you get to the underarms, and then you're splitting and knitting the front and the back separately. The texture panel on the front is what really attracts me to this pattern. I think that's beautiful, and that's actually a combination of, there's a lot going on there. There's baubles, there is lace, there is a I don't know, it's a garter, it's like garter stitch waves. Now, that particular lace panel does not run the whole way consistently across the front and back. It's on the front, it's on the back, but then on each side of the vest, there is just like a garter stitch panel. So yeah, this is just really cute. I'm gonna post a couple pictures up here if I haven't already of the designer's options. I like how she made it, the samples, a bit more cropped. I think this would be really cute. I mean, you could wear this over a button up or whatever, but I also think this would be really cute over a dress, because if I was going to make it to knit over a dress, I would definitely make it cropped. And I think it would be perfect to have in my closet when I just want to put another layer of warmth over my trunk area. This next vest is actually the pattern that inspired this whole episode. It's also the pattern that made me buy more yarn. Of course, the pattern didn't make me buy new yarn, but I did buy new yarn to knit this pattern because Purl Soho was having a sale this past weekend, and I picked up some of the Hedgerow yarn to knit this particular pattern in. I will show you the colorway I just picked up. I think it's called Heirloom White. But I think it'll look gorgeous in this pattern. This is a pattern by Thea Colman. It is called Smokeshow. It's an $8 pattern. It is knit with worsted weight yarn. The gauge is 20 stitches per 4 inches, and it is knit on a US 7 or 4.75 millimeter needle. It comes in 10 sizes from 37.25 inches to 66 inches. It is a classic button-down vest, but it has subtle cabling all over it, which I really like. The button band is worked in twisted rib, and it has then a rib hem at the bottom. I don't know if that's a twisted rib hem at the bottom or not, if it's just regular ribbing, but I absolutely fell in love. I was looking for a vest pattern. I don't know why, because I have so many plans of things I want to knit, but I was looking for a vest pattern and I found this one and I thought, oh my gosh, I need this and I want it. I don't need it. I want this, and I want it in a light colored yarn because I feel like a light colored yarn would really show off those beautiful cables. And I just love the idea of having a button down because you could wear it buttoned or you could wear it open. I think it's just going to complement my wardrobe wonderfully. So I did order the yarn and I do plan on casting on. And because this is a vest, I'm hoping that it will go more quickly than, I don't know, because it's also cabled. But I really love this. I loved it enough to buy the pattern and to buy yarn to make it. If you're in the mood to knit a colorwork vest that's a little bit different than your traditional vest, I have the perfect option for you. This is a pattern by Teti Lutsak. It is called the Pavuk vest, and she is a Ukrainian knitwear designer. And so the Pavuk means spider in Ukrainian, but not the arachnid type of spider. It actually is some sort of Christmas decoration that they use. And you will see that in the color work motif that she includes in this. I think her patterns are absolutely stunning and slightly intimidating to me, but this is absolutely gorgeous. It is a fingering weight pattern, so it's 26 stitches per 4 inch gauge, and it uses size US 1.5 and 3 needles. That's also 2.5 millimeter and 3.25 millimeter. It comes in 9 different sizes from 36 inch to 68 inches. It is knit bottom up in the round. It has the stranded color work. And then it also, if you look at the part on the, like, right at the point of the V, that is done with intarsia. So that is just a little section of intarsia. I have never knit intarsia, but I feel like something small like this would be a good way to dip your toes into it. So you're knitting bottom up in the round, and then you're splitting at the underarms and knitting back and forth flat for the front and the back. She also includes an extended color work chart if you want to make the body of this vest a little bit longer, because it is designed to be more of a cropped design. And she includes optional shoulder sloping shaping if you want that option. And there are some other customizations in the pattern as well. Now, the yarn that she used for this is one that I'm not familiar with. It's called Geold New Zealand La Mold. I have never heard of that before, so I was doing a little bit of research into what other makers used when they made this vest, and just some yarns that I've used in the past that were fingering weight. I feel like this would benefit from a more rustic, not necessarily like in a sock yarn that has nylon. I think a non-superwash would be a good choice for this. So I was thinking of the Rosa Pomar Mondim would be a good one. I've used that yarn before to make socks, and I know that has a nice, it fills in and it's more toothy. Then there was also West Yorkshire Spinners. There was Jamieson and Smith 2-ply jumper weight. Somebody had used Rowan Valley tweed yarn that looked really gorgeous. And then one that I'm not familiar with, but I saw that one knitter had made theirs with Knit Picks Upcycle, which is a blend of, I think, merino or some sort of wool, alpaca, and then I think there might be a little bit of nylon in that. But it looked like it was more of it wasn't like a shiny yarn. This next pattern is a freebie, and this is the Ferntail vest. This pattern is by Kelly Forster, and she had designed this for Cascade Yarns. So when you go into the Ravelry page, there's actually a direct link that's going to take you right to the PDF so you can print it out or save it to your device. She designed this particular vest to be used with a bulky weight yarn. She specifically used Cascade 220 Grande, and it has a 12 stitch per 4-inch gauge, knitted on US 10.5 and 11 needles. That's 6.5 millimeters and 8 millimeters. It comes in 9 sizes ranging from 36 inches to 68 inches. It's worked bottom up in the round to the underarms. And then, like most of these vests, you're going to then separate and do the front and the back flat and separately. And then it's joined at the shoulders with a 3-needle bind off, but it has that beautiful lace panel that runs up the front, which is what I really liked about this, and I thought it made it a lot different. If you want to include a little bit of romantic fantasy into your wardrobe, I would highly suggest this next pattern by Fox and Folk. This is called the Baranduin vest. It is a nod to Tolkien's literary work, specifically the Brandywine River. This pattern is $7.50. It uses a worsted weight yarn. She specifically designed it using Istex Letlopi, and it is a 20 stitch per 4-inch gauge. This is knit using size US 5 and 8 or 3.75 and 5 millimeter needles. It comes in 13 sizes, 29 inches up to 65 inches. She states this is a unique construction that requires almost no finishing at all. There are cables that run continuously from the cast-on edge down through to the bottom hem. It includes additional instructions on how to shape the shoulders. It also includes some optional worksheets for additional customization. I noticed on some of the project patterns there were at least 2 or 3 that had used Newton yarn for this. So if you have that, I know that's been a popular yarn to use in the knitting community. If you don't want to use the Letlopi, Newton also seems to be a good fit for it as well. If you have ever wandered along the cobblestoned Wharf Street in Portland, Maine, you will recognize the nod to that particular street in this next design. This next vest is called Wharf Street, and this is a pattern designed by Elizabeth Smith. This pattern is $8. It is knit on size US 8 or 5 millimeter needles using worsted weight yarn, and it calls for a gauge of 16 stitches per 4 inches. It includes 10 sizes from 33 inches to 69 inches. It is knit from the bottom up It's knit first in the round, and then you're splitting at the sleeves and knitting back and forth flat. Shoulders are seamed using a 3-needle bind off, and the neck and armhole ribbing is picked up and done last. The Ash Slipover V-neck is the next pattern that I chose for this list. This is a pattern by Caidree, and it is $6.50. Now, when you first look at this pattern, it kind of looks more like a top and less like a vest, but it is in the category of a slip over. I probably would not wear this top without wearing a shirt underneath it. That is just me personally. It's very oversized. It gives that nice, roomy, comfy look. It is knit using a super bulky. The gauge is 13 stitches per 4 inches. She actually knit her sample with a super bulky yarn held double with a lace weight yarn. Needles used for this pattern are US 10.5 or 6.5 millimeter. And it comes in 9 sizes from 38.5 inches to 65.5 inches. It is an oversized drop shoulder V-neck slip over. It's worked top down in stockinette, and it has a really cool shoulder detail. If you look at the one picture, it kind of like the detail doesn't lay right on the top of the shoulder, but it falls back a bit onto your back. It also is finished off with 1x1 ribbing, and she states in the pattern description that the sleeve opening is more narrow at the underarm, so down here, and that is achieved using short rows. And I think the reason that she probably did that is because then there would be less bulk, because the sleeve, this slip over does kind of have a sleeve, and it is bulky weight yarn. So I think she did that so that you didn't have all this bulk under your arm, which is a nice feature as well. This just exudes coziness to me. Like, I want to put this on with a pair of leggings and curl up and read a book. I am sure that many of you have heard of this next pattern because I feel like it's been really out there in the knitting community. And I really did want to just include less known patterns in this list, just because I like to research things and find patterns that maybe aren't out there as much. But I had to include this next vest because I actually really want to knit it, and I have really wanted to knit it since I first saw it. It is the Audrey and Unst vest by Gudrun Johnston, and it is an $8 pattern that is knit with fingering weight yarn and a 24 stitch gauge. It's knit on size US 4 and 5 needles, which is also 3.5 millimeter and 3.75 millimeter. It comes in 16 sizes from 30.5 inches up to 60.5 inches. She designed this with 2 different views, or if you're, I feel like that's more of a sewing term. That just means there's 2 different options really to knit this up. One of the options gives you a different hemline. So I think that it's either a straight or a curved hem option. And then also the other customization comes in your button band. You can either do a ribbed button band or an I-cord edging for your button band. She used a Shetland woolen spun that blooms, and she recommends that you do use a yarn that will bloom. And specifically, she used the Spindrift. So if I were to knit this, which I really want to knit this, but am I going to? I don't know. I have way too many things that I want to knit. But if I were to knit this, I would do the straight edge on the bottom, and I would knit it with the ribbed button band with all the buttons that run the whole way down. She has 2 different samples that she included in her photos on Ravelry. One is with the buttons that run the whole way along, and the other one is just with 3 buttons at the top. And I really like the look of the full button panel. I love how it just has a little bit of like lace work up here just to give it a little bit of detail, but not anything over the top. It just looks like a really beautiful, lovely vest. And we are to our last pattern. This is called the Ridgeline vest, and this is a pattern by Wool and Pine. It is $8.75. It is knit using an Aran weight yarn with a gauge. This I don't understand. She says the gauge is 24 stitches, but for an Aran weight yarn, that seems like a pretty tight gauge. So I'm not really sure about that, but that's what the instructions say. That's what the description says on Ravelry. So you use a US 4 and 6 needle for this, which is a 3.5 millimeter and a 4 millimeter. It comes in 12 sizes. This is pretty expansive as far as sizes goes. It's 32 inches up to 72 inches. It is knit bottom up. It's all over 1x1 ribbing. So if you don't like ribbing, you probably don't want to knit this one. I love that this has such a nice tailored silhouette. I think this would be great. Like she models it over a t-shirt. I think it would be great for over a t-shirt. It has the nice I-cord edging to make it look really finished. There are also some short rows included to add some very subtle shoulder shaping. And then she includes the options to either just have no button band or buttonholes and to wear it open, or you have the option of adding 3 buttonholes if you want to be able to close this. I would definitely knit it with the buttonholes because then you could wear it open or shut, but you're gonna have the buttons on there to wear it no matter how you want to wear it. All right, that wraps it up. It was short and sweet. I hope you found a vest pattern. If you're into making vests, I hope you found something here that inspired you. And if you stuck around to the end, if you want to go ahead and let me know in the comments which one of these patterns was your favorite, I will eventually be picking a winner and I will gift you one of these patterns of your choosing. Thank you for watching today. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to my channel and giving this video a thumbs up. And feel free to go back and check my backlog of videos. If you like pattern roundup videos, I have quite a few of them and I have them categorized by a pattern roundup playlist. All right, have a wonderful day. Enjoy your knitting. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Bye. I need to let mommy film. I can't play with you right now, okay? I cannot play with you right now. I got stuff I gotta do. Oh, look at you with all this, all these briars. This isn't gonna work. This is not gonna work. You are so needy. You are such a needy puppy. You are such a needy puppy. How am I supposed to film? How am I supposed to film when you won't let me be? You're very needy today. Yeah, no chewing on mama's arm. No, you're a needy puppy today. Oh, Tilly girl. Tilly girl. Tilly girl. Mama needs to film.